How does someone ready themselves to be able to see what's in the vortex? Well, you take pieces of things that you know you like and you talk about them steadily with the interest of gathering momentum. So you take a subject of importance and you don't try to make it more than it is, and you don't try to make yourself believe it more than you do. You just take something that you already believe, that already makes you feel good, and you focus upon that until momentum begins. And you can feel yourself then, literally, we're not kidding you about this even a little bit, following this stream of impulses and thoughts that come to you. It's like a treasure hunt. But the thing that is most interesting about it is that you have put all of the treasures there. You just don't recognize them in their current form. And the reason that you don't recognize them in their current form is because they have amassed with the other things that you've asked for. And law of attraction has gathered the other cooperative components to them. And in the process of all of that, they have become so much more. You want to find just anything that is easy for you to feel free-flowing and joyful about, and just for a little while give that your undivided attention. Trust that you've already put it in the vortex, and trust that it is in the process of becoming, and then think only about things that feel good to you. And the more you focus upon what makes you feel good, then the more momentum you gather about that, and the more momentum, the more establish the connection. So you can find anything that you can focus on that makes you feel good will allow this same evolution. Abraham, I know that you want me to be excited about the feeling. You don't have it, and you're disappointed that you don't have it. You can't get it. You've got to find a way to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, which means you got to find a way to be satisfied where you are, and then satisfied with where you are, and then satisfied where you are, and satisfied with where you are. And we know when it bursts into that manifestations where you and everybody can see it, that's going to be an extra big satisfaction, but it's going to be pretty short-lived. And so in order to live happily ever after, you have to get into that realization that this is satisfying, and this is satisfying, and this is satisfying. And you can have so many things that are in different stages of maturation that are satisfying you on different levels, and then they begin dovetailing with one another until you begin to realize that you have in your hands the leverage of this energy that creates worlds, and that it is working for you. That's how the big things that you were born to experience begin to happen. If you can find satisfaction long before it's manifested, and notice it, and then more, and then notice it, then you are one of the people who has a chance of living happily ever after. Because if you need your desires to be manifested before you're happy, you can't ever get there, because you've got to let them manifest. And if they haven't yet manifested, and therefore you're blocking them, then there's always going to be something that's causing you to not be in the flow of that. Does that make sense to you? So you can go through life for years or decades, for a long, long time, with not much changing. It's different faces and different places, but pretty much the same thing keeps happening, because you're responding to what is and getting more of what is, and responding to what is and getting more of what is. So it happens. You notice that you offer a vibration. That's your point of attraction. You get more. You notice that you offer a vibration. You get more. So what we're talking about here is no longer having those knee-jerk reactions to what is, which is the only way what is can improve for you. When you talk about what you want and why you want it, often you can get into that emotional place, because emotions are manifestations. And so you could talk about why you want it. It makes me happy to think about it. It makes me feel satisfied. That you won't get into much vibrational trouble talking about what you want and why you want it. That usually lets it evolve. But if you start talking too soon about how and where and when and who, then you contradict your own vibration. The manifestations are developing from what you've all got going on here, because the manifestations these tangible manifestations are your vibrational perceiving. Everything is as you perceive it to be. And we know that's hard to accept or hear when there are tangible things that have manifested that you all can sort of kind of agree on. But if you would notice that often you're walking down the same street with someone else and you're having an entirely different experience than they are having. You are perceiving very individually. And when you start allowing your personal human perception to dovetail with the perception that your source has about the things that are important to you, when you get it that your inner being is flowing with you right out here on this leading edge, you're not out here being tested, you're out here leading the way, and all that is non-physical is there with you, supporting you in whatever it is that you're asking for.